If you use your clock radio, alarm clock, whatever you want to call it, 4 hours a week, and you do not unplug it when it's not in use, how much carbon dioxide is produced from the vampire energy used in 1 year? Okay, we're talking about electricity, and we're talking about carbon dioxide. So we know we're going to have to use the 1.37 pounds of CO2 to 1 kilowatt hour. Well, if you use your packet, you will know that for our alarm clock radio, 2.01 watts is what we're going to use for the vampire energy. So we kind of have the beginnings of this, but I think the real trick in this problem is talking about the hours. You use it 4 hours a week. We want to talk about how much it's not being used in terms of a year. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out how many hours do we not use it in a year. Okay, so that's what I'm going to kind of work through first. So first of all, total hours in a year. Oh, I don't need an S on that. In 1 year. Well, if we think about it, there are 24 hours in one day, and there are 365 hours, or 365 days in a year, right? So every day has 24 hours in it. If I multiply those together, I have 8,760 hours in a year. I'm not going to lie, that doesn't seem like very many when it comes to make it a whole year, but whatever. Okay, so there's our whole year. Now, if we use it, we use the alarm clock 4 hours a week. Well, there's 52 weeks in a year, so we use the alarm clock for 208 hours. So, continuing our thinking, if we have 8,760 hours total, we use it for 208. That means all the other hours of the year, we do not use the alarm clock, right? It's plugged in, but we don't do anything with it. So 8,552 hours is when it's not in use. So there's the number of hours we're going to use for our problem. Well, now it's a matter of just throwing everything together. So, as I mentioned, the vampire energy for an alarm clock radio, 2.01 watts. Hopefully you recall that there are 1,000 watts in a kilowatt, because for our formula we got to be in kilowatt hours. So that takes care of my watts. Now, how many hours did we just find? 8,552 hours in the year that we are not using our alarm clock. And you can do all the calculations I just did within this formula here. Sometimes it's easier to kind of just do it to the side and get it done before you actually get mixed in all these problems. Okay, so now that we have kilowatt hours, right, kilowatt hours, now I can do the 1.37 pounds to 1 kilowatt hour. Kilowatts go away with kilowatts, hours go away with hours, and now I just get to do the math. So I multiply across the top, divide by 1,000, and I come up with 23.5496 pounds. The initial problem said round to the nearest tenth. The 5 is in the 10th place. 4 tells me to round down, so I just have 23.5 pounds of CO2. Final answer.